You've been told you're in control, that your thoughts, your actions, your choices, they're yours. But think carefully. How often have you agreed to something, supported something, even defended something, without ever questioning where the idea came from? Did you decide, or did someone else decide for you? Machiavelli warned us centuries ago. People want to believe they are free, but most of them are easily led. He didn't say this to insult anyone. He said it because he understood how power works. True control doesn't need chains. It only needs suggestion. Look around. From politics to marketing to personal relationships, someone is always shaping the options you think you're freely choosing from. You aren't always holding the wheel. Sometimes you're just reacting to roads someone else built. If you've never noticed it, that's by design. The best influence goes unseen. And if you don't understand that, you're not guiding the game. You're being played by it. The ones who hold real power rarely look like they're in control. They don't give orders. They don't argue. They suggest. They guide. They let others think they came up with the idea on their own. This is what Machiavelli understood better than most. He wrote that it's safer to be feared than loved, but even more powerful to be neither, to be invisible, to influence without being seen. You've already felt this before. That moment when your opinion changed, but you can't trace why. Someone said something in passing. You didn't think much of it. But later, your thinking shifted. That wasn't random. That was design. True influence doesn't announce itself. It doesn't try to convince. It makes you feel like the thought was always yours. A word here, a glance there, a subtle tone change. These aren't just habits. They're tools. The strongest manipulation is quiet. You never see the hand moving the piece. You only notice when the board has changed and you've already moved. Here's the part most people avoid thinking about. What if you weren't the one being moved? What if you were the one moving others? That's the real divide. There are those who follow ideas, and there are those who shape them. Machiavelli made it clear. Those who understand power use it indirectly. They don't demand control. They create the conditions where others choose to give it. We've been taught the opposite. We're told that influence means speaking louder, acting tougher, taking charge. But the ones who really lead don't need to raise their voice. They don't need attention. They operate through suggestion, not force. They plant ideas. Others water them. You've probably met someone like this. They speak calmly. They listen more than they talk. Yet somehow their opinions carry weight. Not because they argue, but because they know how to place the right thought at the right time. That's not luck. That's strategy. Control isn't about domination. It's about direction. It's about letting others walk the path you laid out, believing they chose it themselves. If you want to understand how real manipulation works, you need to start with the basics. First, not everyone is worth influencing. Machiavelli would call it a waste of effort. Focus only on those who matter, people who are uncertain, impressionable, or hungry for direction without knowing it. These are the ones most likely to follow without resistance. Next, never present your idea as a command. If you tell someone what to do, they'll resist out of pride. But if they believe it was their idea, they'll defend it as if their identity depends on it. A passing comment, a loaded question, a quiet suggestion. Done right, these small moves shape bigger decisions. Then, weaken resistance before it forms. People on their own aren't hard to influence. Groups are. A united group can push back. So if you want to stay in control, keep them divided. Plant doubt. Stir rivalry. Turn their attention on each other. That's how empires prevent rebellion, by making sure no one agrees long enough to rise together. But none of this works without understanding emotion. Logic might win debates, but emotion wins decisions. People don't act because they understand. They act because they feel. Fear, pride, shame, desire. Know what someone feels, and you know what moves them. If you make them feel like a choice is urgent, like it protects something important, they'll take action without you ever needing to ask. This is where things start to get dangerous, because once you begin to influence people, there's something you can't ignore: the cost. Machiavelli never pretended that power came without risk. In fact, he warned that those who rise through manipulation must always watch their back, because the moment someone sees how you've been moving the pieces, you become the threat. Once exposed, you're no longer the quiet hand guiding events. You're the enemy. And if you go too far, if you use these tactics without care, someone else will learn them too. They'll study how you operate, just like you studied others. And when they use your own methods against you, you won't see it coming. Power is a weapon, and like any weapon, it doesn't care who's holding it. History is full of men who thought they were untouchable, until they weren't. Their fall didn't come from weakness. It came from arrogance, from believing no one else could play the game better. So the real question isn't whether you can manipulate others, it's whether you're ready to live with what that means. Because once you step into this world, once you choose to shape minds instead of just your own, you can't unlearn it. And you can't go back. Control doesn't look like control. That's the paradox. The more obvious your influence, the weaker it becomes. People resist what feels forced. They follow what feels natural. Machiavelli understood this. He knew the most effective rulers didn't show strength through domination, but through silence, through design. The real power lies in getting others to speak your ideas, to act on your plans, while thinking it was all their decision. This is why the world isn't run by the loudest voices. It's shaped by the ones who move in silence, who don't need credit, who pull the strings from behind the curtain. And the strange part is, the less you seem to be in control, the more you actually are. People will underestimate you. They'll dismiss you. That's exactly what gives you room to move, because by the time they notice your influence, it's already taken hold. So now you have a choice. Keep playing the part that's been handed to you, or learn to write your own script. Someone is always shaping the outcome. It's just a matter of whether it's going to be you. If you really want to influence people, you have to go deeper. Ideas alone won't move them. Emotion will. Machiavelli understood that fear and hope drive people more than logic ever could. He knew that the masses don't follow reason, they follow feeling. Look at any movement that changed the world. It wasn't facts that sparked action. It was emotion, anger, pride, unity, purpose. People followed because something in them was stirred, not because the arguments were perfect. This is what most people miss. They try to persuade with logic. But real influence comes when your idea makes someone feel something, because once an idea taps into emotion, it sticks. It bypasses the mind and settles into the identity. And when someone ties an idea to who they are, they don't question it, they defend it. That's the beginning of real power, not when someone agrees with you, but when they believe your idea is theirs, when they fight for it without knowing why. If you want someone to truly believe something, you can't just convince them. You have to make the idea part of who they are. This is where influence becomes identity. And once that happens, it's hard to undo. People are willing to change their opinions. They're even willing to admit when they're wrong, if it doesn't touch how they see themselves. But identity is a different level. Once an idea becomes part of it, letting go of that idea feels like losing a piece of themselves. Machiavelli wouldn't have called this manipulation. He would have called it understanding human nature. If you want lasting influence, don't aim for agreement, aim for adoption. You don't need someone to repeat your words. You need them to live them. The way in is simple. Connect your idea to their values, their story, their sense of self. Frame it as something they already are, or something they've always wanted to be. When someone believes that your idea defines them, they'll carry it with pride, and they'll defend it without ever remembering where it came from. This is the point where persuasion ends and programming begins. You're no longer asking someone to consider an idea, you're embedding it in their mind without them realizing it was ever planted. Machiavelli understood this long before psychology gave it a name. Influence isn't just about what's said, it's about how often, when, and under what emotional state. First, exposure. People resist unfamiliar ideas, but when something keeps showing up, casually, indirectly, it starts to feel familiar. And the mind accepts the familiar, even without agreeing with it at first. Then comes repetition, not in the same form, not word for word. That's too obvious. Instead, repackage the same message in different ways, different tones, different settings. The brain links repeated patterns with truth, not because they're true, but because they're repeated. And finally, emotion. No idea survives without it. If you connect a thought to something someone feels, fear, pride, hope, it lodges deeper. Logic might spark reflection. Emotion sparks movement. This isn't about tricking people. It's about knowing how the mind works. And once you know that, you'll see what Machiavelli saw. Ideas, repeated with emotion, don't just influence behavior, they shape reality. Most people think they make choices based on logic. They imagine themselves as rational, independent thinkers. But the truth is simpler and more uncomfortable. By the time someone makes a decision, most of the work has already been done for them. Society shapes what they want. Their past experiences shape how they react. Their biology pulls them in predictable directions. Machiavelli knew this long before modern science confirmed it. He observed that people follow patterns, and anyone who understands those patterns can predict, even steer, their actions. Here's one. People trust those who listen more than those who talk. Not because listeners have better ideas, but because being heard makes people feel safe. If you let someone talk about themselves, they'll start to see you as someone they can trust, even if you've said very little. Here's another. Fear beats reward. Most people are more motivated to avoid pain than to chase gain. If you want someone to act, don't show them what they'll get. Show them what they might lose if they don't. And one more. Exclusivity creates value. People want to belong to something rare. If you frame an idea as something not everyone can grasp, the ones who do will cling to it. Not just because it makes sense, but because it makes them feel special. Influence isn't about control. It's about knowing what people respond to before they do. Nothing threatens influence more than unity among those who oppose it. A single person can be persuaded. A divided group can be distracted. But a group that's united around a shared goal, that's dangerous. Machiavelli warned rulers to always keep potential enemies divided, because once people find common cause, they stop looking inward. They start looking up. If you want to maintain control, never let that happen. Don't confront opposition head-on. Undermine it from within. Make them question each other. Stir competition. Let their leaders fight for attention. A movement that turns on itself doesn't need to be defeated, it defeats itself. This tactic has worked for centuries. Politicians use it, corporations use it, governments have built entire strategies around it. Keep people busy with internal battles, and they won't have the clarity to focus on the real source of power. You don't need to silence the opposition. You just need to keep them too distracted to organize. And if they never unify, they never become a threat. There's one thing all manipulators eventually face: doubt. Not from others, but from themselves. Because once you understand how to shape people's thoughts, you start to question everything around you. Every compliment, every decision, every emotion. Was it real, or was it part of a pattern you set in motion? Machiavelli hinted at this dilemma. He wrote about the risks of ruling through fear and strategy, knowing that such control creates isolation. The more you manipulate, the harder it becomes to trust. You see the strings everywhere, even when they aren't there. You begin to wonder if anyone truly cares about you, or if they're only responding to the influence you crafted. And in time, something else happens. You realize control has limits, that people are not machines. They're unpredictable. A sudden emotion, a moment of clarity, a personal change, any of it can unravel what you built. Even the best strategy can fall apart in the face of human chaos. So the question changes. It's no longer, can I manipulate? It becomes, am I ready for what comes with it? Because once you learn to play this game, you can't pretend it doesn't exist. And you can't unknow what you now see. So now you know how influence works. You've seen how thoughts can be planted, how emotions can be shaped, how groups can be broken before they become threats. You've seen the patterns. You've seen the tools. But one question still hangs in the air. How far are you willing to go? Machiavelli saw this question play out in every court, every empire, every ruler who rose through strategy and fell through arrogance. He understood that power has no finish line. Once you start pursuing it, there's always more to take, always more to protect. That's the trap. The more control you gain, the more you fear losing it. You stop trusting people, you start seeing threats everywhere, and eventually you become the very kind of person you once swore you weren't. History is full of people who learned to pull the strings, only to end up tangled in them. They believed they were invincible. They thought their influence would never fade. Until it did. So now you have to decide. Will you use this knowledge to understand the world better, or will you fall into the same illusion as the rest? Because the hardest truth to accept isn't that others have manipulated you. It's that you might be ready to do the same,